Take a look at that femur. Make sure that he keeps that other guy stuck in the floor. Don't externally rotate it. Because as you go through, anytime we do flexibility exercise, I want you guys to recognize if we isolate something, if we force something to stretch, you'll figure out, just like water coming down a mountain, how it's going to find the path of least resistance, so it's going to manifest itself somewhere else, which gives us a better road to figure out what's keeping us from being really, really good at what we do. We're looking for our active PNF stretch. What we're technically doing is moving these thighs in two opposite directions. So partner is instructed to place their foot up under that knee, really concentrate on pushing down, 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 down. Very good, while the other hip is resisted, flexed, in conjunction with extending on a very tall hamstring line. So from this position, that right femur is pressing down, down, down. We resist a little bit of left hip flexion, and then we try to lengthen that for about 4 seconds. Keep driving that sucker up and try to get a good resisted stretch. Hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that. Beautiful, very good. Now, another coaching cue you can do is Mike, take switch feet. Now from there, yeah, be careful. If he brings his leg up from there, that gets very uncomfortable in terms of dinner parties later in the conversations that you'll have. Now from here, hold that line, straighten your leg. Now, don't move. Take your foot and put it on the inside instead of the outside. Now, Greg, your job is to internally rotate and hold that line right there. Very good. You're going to have to move your hips out of the way and hollow out, but hold, 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 hold. Very good. Now, the big difference between what he just did on the one prior to versus this one is, on this one, we actually develop the musculature to keep it in line versus just forcing him back in. So on one aspect, we've got a positive effect on either option, but by utilizing a Feldenkrais method, we can actually develop internal rotation, thus giving him the mechanics to protect his own hip. Thus, the proverb of teach a man to fish. All right, back of the neck is in the ground, the shoulder blades are in the ground, T-spine, the low back. Now the foot should be placed underneath the knee, above the knee, but underneath, so that they get a feel for crushing our foot down here, so they're pressing down. Now once we're ready for that, we've got a neutral hip position, neutral knee position, neutral toe position. We're gonna go light resistance hip flexion, so bend this knee and bring this into your chest. Press, press, press. We want to try to find a good range of hip flexion. Now, press, press, press as you try to straighten that knee. Press, straighten your knee, straighten your knee, straighten knee. 2, 1, about 4 seconds. Now, smoothly come over to me. I'm going to block this opposite hip and even think about pushing it over as you keep this knee locked. Pull that toe back and go to the floor. Go, 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 go. Come back up to your midline. And we're going to place it back down. And then you're going to see it on the opposite side. And same exact principle, bring this up, let me put my foot under there, and we're going to hold this line back, low back, back of the knee up, and press, 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 hold this line. Come on, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, try to straighten that leg, try to straighten that leg, try to straighten that leg. There it is. Now come over, 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 keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Awesome job. And come back up. And we're going to go one more on the other side, on each side. And we're ready. The goal of this is to move deliberate enough, smooth enough where you can feel any small movements outside of what it should feel like to be a perfect line. Now correcting that is the same corrective exercise, the same mechanics as developing the ability to protect yourself. But if you fall, you lose the opportunity to develop that muscular system that allows for better balance. So slow it down, feel any movements outside of what we consider our inner zone. So if a movement goes into that inner zone, into the outer zone, anything outside of that is actually breaking of balance. So you want to be able to go from outer zone to inner zone to outer zone within a comfortable range, and you want to build up that outer zone, which is a controllable range of motion without breaking posture and falling. Now, one of the coaching cues you want to utilize with yourself is understanding, oftentimes when they started to do a lot of plyometrics, when plyometrics became very popular, people started to say you want to land softly. But one of the common problems that we found with landing softly was it's really easy to land soft by just landing to the tips of your toes and not allowing the heel to touch. And one of the problems that we ran into was by landing at the tips of toes and really focusing in on landing softly, it forced a lot of tension into that patella tendon. So what we want to do is disregard landing softly and worry about dispersing all that tension to the entire body as opposed to just the tip of the toe. If you go to the tip of the toe, you force a ton of tension, a ton of torque to just jut to the tip of that knee. Finish this out. We've got 20 seconds. Stick it, stick it, stick it. So instead, we want to go flat foot and absorb all that tension, irregardless of how loud you land. With the popularity of Coyle's book about the 10,000 hours, one of the things that people forget is that it has to be perfect practice. As people go through and they're just practicing basic techniques, keep in mind one of the common themes throughout the book is what he talks about is that it has to be ownership of it. People who do really well with any type of skill, they take ownership of the development of that skill. It's not just practicing a skill, it's practicing to be better at those skills. Maintain good structural integrity, but we want to think about using this weight to help increase neuromuscular control of an increased range of motion. So stretching with weights, really think about taking this as far over as you possibly can under good control. Keep your midsection in tight, big stretch of that left lateral line. Now use the same musculature to close it off and pull yourself back over to the other side. Big stretch, big stretch, big stretch. Now gentle. Reach over, reach, 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 and reach. Stick! Awesome job, very good. Be slow and deliberate with these in terms of trying to maintain accuracy and precision. That's your goal. That's why we do this. That's right. An excessive amount of movement outside of this will cause an either injury or poor performance, but your nervous system adapts very quickly to this stressor if you can concentrate on perfection. So work on being perfect at this.